You know what is wild right now? Somewhere in Andhra Pradesh, there is a massive data center coming up. So big that Google is pouring 1.5 lakh crore into it, and it is in size of 141 football fields. And 1.5 lakh crore, it is more than GDPs of some small countries. And you know what is powering it? Our water, our land, and our data. Every Google search you have done, every video you have watched, including this one, these are stored in somewhere. Every time you did a Google search or every time you asked ChatGPT to solve your problems, the answers didn't appear magically. The answers are stored somewhere away, somewhere in a building. As a normal person, it is a digital thing for you. These answers are stored in a building somewhere, and those are called data centers. Those buildings are coming to India right now as we are speaking, and in a massive way. But here's something nobody is talking about, or nobody is even telling you. Who actually benefits from this? Or we are just some cheap real estate for this massive corporation. First, what is a data center? Because I feel people hear this term and often just ignore it or think like they understand it. Think of it this way, that your phone has 128 GB storage and 256 GB storage. Our data center is similar to that. It stores all your data, the photos you upload in your drive, the mails you send, the data of a store, and the reviews you have given for a store. Everything is stored in a place, in ones and zeros, encrypted, safe, and stored in a physical place. Those places are called data center. Usually our normal data center is size of a cricket stadium. Millions of servers in them. Millions. All running 24/7. And the fact is, these things are very insane to maintain. They need constant cooling, and they consume as much as electricity of a big city. In the gigawatt one, which we're gonna talk about, it consumes electricity of an entire city. Example, a city like Nagpur. Okay, we understand that data center consumes electricity and they're expensive to maintain, but there is a layer we often tend to ignore. The part which is the most important. Till people started using AI, a data center used to consume electricity, and that was fine. But once the AI came, every time you generate an image, every time you generate a video, the GPUs, the graphic processing units, they work overtime fulfilling your request. AI isn't some magical thing invented. They stay in the data servers, they work in data servers, and they are very thirsty, they are very hot, they are not good for the environment. Right now, world's biggest tech companies want to build it, and they want to build it in India. Why India? Why now? So why are Google, Microsoft, and Amazon announcing very big investments here? There are three reasons, and I want you to hear this. India has 140 crore people. We are the Google's largest user database. More Indians use Google than Americans. And financially, it makes sense for Google to build such a data center in India because it saves money and energy when the data is processed closer to the source. Lower latency, faster data speeds, and cheap transfers. And second, here's which blew my mind. When I first read this, I was shocked because India alone generates 20% of world's user data. Think about that once again, because 20% data in one single country and our 22 languages is a gold mine for them. Our searches, our voice queries in Hindi, English, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, those are gold for AI companies. They need our language data, our mindset to create AI for us. Without our data, ChatGPT and Gemini would sound like it was trained in a Silicon Valley. A normal Indian will not be using it, and that is the real truth. It was trained in a Silicon office, but now they are coming to us and they are gonna take our data, they are gonna use it. Third, this is the most horrible part. The deal Indian government is offering is like rolling a carpet down for them to come and build here, do whatever you want here. To this MNCs, tax clearances and fast track movement in these government offices. Andhra Pradesh cleared permits which would usually take years and years within a week. You can ask your friend or anybody who runs a business in India how difficult it is to get a permit. We know the nightmare of going to government offices to get some clearances. But for these companies, it's really a red carpet. You can just come here and do whatever you want as long as you are giving some employment to those construction workers or creating some blue collar jobs. But the long-term effects of it, that is what we are gonna see. So on the surface, for a normal Indian like you and me, it sounds like a good deal because you're getting a good infrastructure around it and it's creating thousands of jobs and it's also a very good investment. What am I complaining here about? Here's where we understand why Bangalore rejected it. Karnataka still has 31 to 32 data centers. They are small and normal data centers. Initially, this gigawatt data center was supposed to be built in Bangalore, but our politicians rejected it. People always tend to ignore the underlying issue, water. Bangalore already has a water scarcity issue, and these data centers, they consume lot of water. Borewells are hitting dry at 2000 feet, and right next to them is data centers, which is consuming lakhs and lakhs of liters every day just to keep functioning in a normal pace. And yet, until it's too late, nobody is gonna keep the track of water right now. These data centers are drinking water and people tend to ignore it because they don't have much idea about it, and there is no proper data that how much these data centers actually consume. No monitoring, no limits, and just corporate promises. So when Bangalore rejected, here's what Google did. They moved to another location, not away from India, but within India, where questions are asked less. And that place is Vizag. So why Vizag? This one is actually fascinating. So the project Google is actually building here, right now it's 1 gigahertz altogether, and it is gonna get to 3 gigawatts altogether now. And for our surprise, who is very bullish in renewable energy? Adani. And Adani just had the right things what Google needed. Google just can't build a data center which runs on coal anymore. That optics would be catastrophic. So you got Google's money and Adani's renewable energy and Andhra government's fast clearances all lining up at once. On paper, this is a digital win for India. Thousands of jobs and international investments. But here's something I want you to ask yourself. At what cost? Fishing villages near Vizag and locals there are already raising alarms on land acquisition and water shortage. Their livelihood is in danger because this data center and those people, they need access to the same groundwater, and who will be consuming more of it. For example, Chennai already hit day 0 in 2019, and what happened that time? The borewells were totally out. They didn't have water, and millions of people suffered because of it. Hyderabad is also having the same fate, and geologists predict groundwater will run dry in next 2 years. In next 2 years, I'm very serious about it. And what is happening at the same time? Data centers are being expanded in both cities anyway. India's data center capacity is projected to grow 6 times by 2030. At what cost? Water demand scales up with it. And right now, there is no mandatory water disclosure for these facilities. No enforceable limits, no penalties, just voluntary corporate promises. Google has made some commitments. I'm not saying Google is gonna lie about the water usage, but who is gonna enforce? The locals of Vizag? Will the government enforce water disclosure or monitor the groundwater levels? No. But who is gonna suffer the most? The people around the data centers when water scarcity begins. See, I am not against development in a country, but we are just seen as a data set for them. We are just seen as a raw material for these MNCs. That is the problem. Why don't India has its own Google? When a country like India is more capable of developing the most sophisticated money transaction system like UPI, why can't we use our own browsers? Why can't we use our own search engines? Why can't we create our own AIs? Why can't we train our own AIs? When I ask these questions, people will definitely think of me as an anti-national. But honestly, I don't want other multinational companies using us just like a material, just like a raw resource. They are gonna build this type of data centers and give us few jobs for our data. Why couldn't we do it for ourselves? Okay, so you might ask, why don't we also do it and get ahead of ourselves? At a point, you will realize you are wrong, because these countries have very strict environmental laws and they follow it seriously. A data center like this opening in US, there will be many protests and people will ask questions about it. But what about Indians? Indians will never talk about it. Indians will never worry about it. As long as they are getting jobs and food on the table for a day, they don't care even if their land is sold and if their future generations don't have water at all. All I am saying through this video is, we could have built a data center, but it should have been for us, not for some other company like Google or Microsoft or Amazon. It should have been built for us. Can buy our land, use our resources, and there is no questions asked. That is the actual problem here. If this video made you think differently, do leave a comment, and I would always love to know where I am wrong. Alright, see you in the next one. Take care. This is Akash signing off.